Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. All right, welcome back to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Today, really excited to introduce you to Luke and Tara Majarella, and they are building a fantastic brand. Dying to hear what they've been up to since last time we talked. And also, they had a fantastic trip, complete with pictures. Maybe I'll share some in this article. We'll see. But they were down in Washington State, running all along the Columbia River, and just you feel like you could be there. So welcome to the show, guys. I'm really glad you're here. Would you please introduce yourselves and your business?
Well, I'm Tara.
And I'm Luke.
I figured.
And we represent Lukara.
Fantastic. All right. Now, for those of you who don't catch that, it's Lukara, which I thought Luke and Kara because they're, but no, it's Luke and Tara. So there we go. So tell me about Lukara. What is it doing?
So we are a brand based on sustainable living, and the whole idea is our goal is to provide eco-friendly alternatives to everyday products. One of our current main products is a reusable, compostable to-go cup. It's actually made out of cornstarch, so it's good. That's for
pretty cool.
Got about a 3-year lifespan before it starts to get a little brittle, but then you can literally toss it in a compost bin and it will disappear.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Except for the silicone wrap around it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
you can actually help break it up, and we've actually put it in compost. We did not take the pictures, we should have, but in less than a year, it was already gone.
Wow. That's incredible, especially for people that are like, got to get their daily Joe, those cups in your back seat on the floor. Like everybody chucks their stuff while they're driving. Right? Oh, right. I'm the only one, right? Boy, I mean, that's incredible. What's that?
You sound like you speak from experience.
Yeah, maybe. You get where you're going, you're like, oh, I got a lot of cleaning up to do. Right? But the cups, I mean, my gosh, it's just one way that we really create a lot of trash just consuming. This is a fantastic thing. So, wow, I want to hear everything about that. Like, how did you, how did you get where you are in this? What has been the journey so far?
So, as you can see from our pictures, nature is definitely just an inspiration to, go out and be in the first place. And so really, I would say that it's kind of no particular aha moment in nature, as you asked before, but it's definitely nature is the aha moment. And being out there and knowing that if we don't take care of it, and help others take care of it, that it's not going to be there to enjoy.
That's for sure. That is for sure. So, like, has this been kind of like for a lot of people, I know there's this sense of kind of like ecological angst, people will just be almost consumed by what are we doing to our planet. I remember as a college kid, this was so bizarre. It just hit me randomly. I'm like, where is all the trash? Like, where is it all? We create so much trash. Where is it? Now, I grew up in New Jersey, so it was pretty easy to see because you're driving by these landfills that are humongous, birds circling and all this kind of stuff. But did you have kind of a moment, or has this always been there for you, where you like all of a sudden go, oh, we can't do it like this?
A little bit of both, I would say, honestly. Definitely, at least I know for myself, grew up where we didn't have a whole lot of options other than to use what we had or fix what we had, and to not always be buying new things and getting new things. It wasn't financially, just wasn't an option. And I think that led a lot into just that way of thinking, to reuse and reduce and not always be able to get new stuff. And so that and with both of our love for being out in nature and enjoying it, just kind of one thing led to the other, and then decided we wanted to do our own thing for our own brand, and that seemed to be the logical choice of, like, well, how can we do this and still not just create more trash?
True. And that's the thing with e-com. Sometimes it's like, if you're like ecologically sensitive or, like you're thinking about, I guess that's the way to put it. But if you're thinking about these types of things, if you're consuming and then you're creating another consumer goods, and it's like, oh, I could see where that would be a little bit of how am I going to balance this with my values? And here I'm creating potentially more trash. So what you're doing, this checks all those boxes. Like you're, creating something people crave. It helps everybody who's using it, helps people who aren't using it too, which is really cool. And it's, it's making the world a better place. This is why I love entrepreneurs. Like, do you guys think, like, I would just be sitting there thinking about the ripple effect of what you're doing. I'd be so jazzed.
When you start coming up with ideas and everything, you really start thinking of that ripple effect.
Yeah.
We're here right now, but our grandchildren, your grandchildren, everybody's grandchildren, they're going to have to contend with our trash in the future.
Yeah.
It just going more sustainable is the only way.
I love that. I really do. So where are you in the journey now? You've got your product. I think last time that we spoke, I don't know if you even had product yet, but here it is.
We had, I think the last time we spoke, we did have 2 products. We had some hemp and organic cotton diaper liners, which we have X'd out of the product offering for the time being. It was kind of one of those, this thing doesn't fit with the others. It fits the theme of the eco-friendly, but it definitely doesn't really fit with to-go cups. And our other one is we have a bamboo steamer, and so just still going with the whole reusable, but also kind of self-sufficiency, bringing cooking more back to home, but also using sustainable materials, being bamboo. And even the accessories that come with the steamer, we have one's a dumpling mold, but it's made out of wheat straw fiber. And then we have bamboo chopsticks that are in there, and even the ceramic dishes. I never realized until I was really looking into it how sustainable of a material ceramic is. Like, that's actually really interesting. Very, very low ecological impact with that.
That's amazing. So you must be doing tons of research. I mean, there's some things that are super obvious and all that, but then, like, how do you put this into a product? What are you going to use? Can you actually source it? Is it going to travel well? Is it going to decompose? All that kind of stuff. Do you spend a lot of time down the rabbit hole, or?
Yeah, we definitely have.
A lot of rabbit holes we've gone through.
A lot of rabbit holes, a lot of iterations, a lot of thoughts into it. Even getting where we did with the material for the cups. We were originally looking into like bamboo fiber and wheat straw fiber and some of these other type of like bioplastics, and it's interesting the things that you find that are actually in those other things that aren't what you actually want them to be.
Ooh, I didn't know about that. Tell me a little bit more.
So bamboo fiber and wheat straw fiber, although significantly 1,000 times better than just straight up plastic, for certain applications, be it something like this that's going to hold a liquid that's potentially acidic or hot, will actually use a binder called melamine, which anybody from the 70s and 80s would definitely probably know what melamine is, but it's basically a type of plastic that's supposed to be eco-friendly, but it still leaches chemicals, and that is the primary binder for those other 2 types of bioplastics and many other things. And so had to kind of come up with that one. The first rendition of the bamboo steamer we did, we ordered one, and she opens it up, and it's wrapped in a plastic cellophane, and there's plastic things holding the accessories, and she's like, this isn't gonna work.
Nope.
It's like so close.
Yep.
We were right there.
So we're like, well, it's better than it could have been, but it's still not what it needs to be. So the next round, we definitely made some iterations there. the little accessories come in, cardboard now, not in plastic. The steamer itself's not shrunk wrap in plastic. So yeah, all of our boxes are made out of recycled materials. So that's all
cool.
Something we were kind of striving for, or at least that's what our manufacturers are telling me when I ask them for that. So I have to take the word on it.
Does it cost more? I would think it would cost way more, right, to use recycled cardboard in your boxes and that type of stuff, or at least maybe it used to. I'm not sure.
I would think that it used to. It didn't really seem to add anything extra to the. And if it did, it was pennies. So
worth it. That's fantastic. That is so cool. Because it feels like and I could be wrong, but it seems like years back it would have been there just wasn't the market, so the prices were high. Like there were people recycling cardboard, but not enough to make it cost effective, and that's really cool. Right. That's really awesome, man. And was it hard to find a manufacturer who would actually work with you on like, hey, this is exactly what we want. We don't want this. We want this. Was that hard?
The steamers, not as much, just because that is definitely a big market, especially in Asia. That's those are not, they produce those quite a bit. Getting some of the accessories they had to source from obviously outside of their own factory, from other factories. So that wasn't super difficult. The communication barrier is a little that was more challenging than the sourcing part of that. The cups, though, finding a manufacturer that actually dealt with that material was interesting. Definitely had to go a little farther down into the depths of Chinese suppliers for that one.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's not like, made in China. It's not normally thought of as, well, this is eco-friendly, so I'm sure that took some hunting for sure. That's great. But you're happy with who you've got. This is great. It's selling. How's the business going? Are you, picking up some traction?
Yeah, actually we're definitely finally getting some, I would say, positive traction. We've had some traction now for a while, but it's been with all the cost and fees of Amazon and all the other powers that be, and advertising with Amazon has more been just selling to advertise, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And so we're finally getting some traction to actually start getting some reimbursements back from the efforts.
Amazing. Now it's fun, right?
We heard about this and it made our day.
I bet. That's huge. It's one thing you start making sales to strangers. That's also like sales at all. That's cool. Sales to strangers. That's cool. But if you start actually out earning what you're spending in trying to advertise and get it, that's amazing. That's great. And you have a community going, don't you?
We do. It's like yours is slow growing, but it's getting there. Right now, our Facebook group has about 100 members, and our social media pages definitely have a lot more followers or subscribers, or however you want to say that. But and again, slow growing, but it's what you get out is from what you put in, and being the social media managers and the the brand owners and everything else, one always tends to suffer a little bit. So
it's true. There's a lot of fires to put out at any given moment. We're only humans, right? So you kind of need sleep and eating, and
sleep, eating. What's that?
What is this thing you speak of? Now, what's the long-term plan for this? Do you want to, are you building to sell? What do you want to do?
So this brand particularly, not so much a build to be able to sell, but not actually the plan to do. Definitely this would be the brand that I think we both want to be able to pass on, when it comes time, and then utilize this brand to fund some other brand ventures that would build to sell.
That's kind of cool, because entrepreneurs, we have nothing but ideas, nothing if not ideas. And it's hard to this is my brand for life. I don't know. No, I'm not doing anything else except for this forever. That would be kind of torture, I think. But it's, I like that plan. Build it to sell. Maybe don't sell it, but this way, it can fund some other stuff. What would other things be that you'd be interested if you had, like, each of you had, all right, 2 other brands you want to build? What would they be?
We've talked about making dinnerware, like our cups, plates, bowls, utensils.
Nice.
Things like that. Lightweight, buses, RVs, they want to keep their weights down. For picnics. I mean, you can do dinnerware out of it, everything. So that's something else that we've been kind of looking into.
I like that.
I think that's kind of one of our choices right now.
Oh, say again?
I said, I think that's kind of one of the choices that we've been kind of staying with right now.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
And that would definitely be something that would still fit into this brand. But as far as other brands go, she's actually working on starting another brand right now. That we're gamers, not in the sense of video games, but like trading card games.
Ah,
like Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
that type. No electronics at the table.
Right? Oh, I like it. That's really cool. So, would it be like a different card game? Like, what do you want to do?
It's something that can be used in all the pre-existing card games. It's like a counter.
Nice.
How would you describe it?
I think gaming accessory.
Gaming accessory, yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm married to a guy who was dungeon master, and I've never played. When I was growing up, they were, I had all these guy friends who were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it was like no girls allowed. I'm like, fine, I don't want to play anyway. But he's like, I would have let you play. So how long have you been playing?
Me? I've been playing for probably about 25 years or so. And she's on, what, about 5, 6?
About 5. I had no choice. I was broken at the time with a broken heel and a broken knee, so I couldn't run away anymore. And then I liked it.
Oh, you were subjected to watching, and then you're like, all right, wait a minute.
No, he's like, I'm going to teach you. And he was trying to teach me a few years before that. I was like, yeah, okay, all right. I don't understand it. Mana? What's mana? Mana's land? I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I'm broken and I can't run away. And I'm like, oh, I get it. And then the first couple of times I'm like, well, why don't they have something for this? And he goes, well, make it. So we did.
Wow.
So now that's the product coming out because there's not really anything out there for it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That's somebody that didn't know how to play it. Why don't we have this? Why isn't this with the game?
Somebody oughta something.
Right. So I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
And it's taking, I don't know if it's a resurgence or if it's just now more openly known that people are playing, like not the video games, but these types
We didn't even know half of the people that we knew were playing.
Interesting.
Even his own friends he didn't know play.
No play.
No,
is it like
nobody.
a secret?
They're like, oh, you
They just
played Magic. And they're like, why didn't you say? And we're like, why didn't you?
That's amazing. I wonder why.
It's you find that initial, I guess, group or clique or whatever that plays, and it's one of those. Unless it comes up in conversation, people just don't really think to hey, by the way, do you do this?
That's funny.
It's also the one game that AI cannot beat.
Ooh, right. Oh my gosh.
Because it's a continuous game. They just keep adding on. There's no end.
That's true.
A deck of cards can be played, may not ever play the same way ever again. So an AI can't beat it, and I like that.
That is kind of cool. It's like, it's like subterfuge for humans. Playing this, our computer overlords will never catch it.
Right. And then another thing that I've definitely wanted to eventually do and use the existing brand and brands to go is to be able to help fund other people to do what we're doing. To help be that startup capital for people that are that have the ideas and don't have the means to get them going. And so that's been a kind of a back of my mind, passion project that I want to get into, because so many people have helped us along the way, and there so many people that have so many great ideas that need to come to life,
and we want to be able to pass it on.
Yeah. Now, do you want to be like angel investors, so kind of like betting on somebody's dream, or a little bit down the road, more like private equity, where you're like, somebody's got something going, we want to get behind them? Which way do you like to go?
Kind of maybe a little bit of both, I would say, but I would probably lean more towards maybe like the angel investor side. Someone that at least has the drive and the concepts and enough together that with the right push and the right backing can really help them to bring it out.
That's cool. That's cool. I know I've had some angel investors, helping with Out of Wild Woods, and it was like, wow, you can see it too. Oh my gosh. Like, here's this vision. Nobody else sees it, but you see it. Like, wow. Have you had some angel investors, helping with you, or has it been, have you had any investors, I guess?
So, yeah, our partner, basically the silent partner, is basically just that. Without him, the getting off the ground in the first place would never have happened financially, or at least not in any timely manner.
And our silent partner is actually the one who came up with the Lukara name.
How about that?
We could not figure out a name. We were going all different directions, down different rabbit holes. And he was just like, what about this? I put your name and his name together, and I'm like, yeah, really. We never thought of that. And
Isn't it funny?
We went with it.
Sometimes just that outside perspective, he's not all wrapped around the axle. What is it? He's like, how about this? Great.
Yep.
So, what's that been like with you? Like, having a silent partner, do you feel like, has that been more stressful? I mean, obviously it helps provide for the finances you need to do this, but there's this emotional part too, where I feel like, oh guys, I really want this to work for you. Like, I feel so responsible to, make this work. Do you have kind of that too?
All the time. All the time. It's definitely that thought in the back of the mind for sure, like on a daily basis, like, hey, this is, not only for ourselves, not only for the brand, not only for the planet, but definitely, the person who took the chance and took the bet on us to do this, and need to make sure that they get taken care of. And so that is definitely a very stressor / I would say motivational.
Yeah, I get that completely. You just like, you want to make sure they eat,
Right.
So. Oof. Now, all right, let's shift gears a little bit. I'd love to hear, you guys live in a beautiful part of the country. You clearly love outdoors. I want to hear, like, do you have like an outdoors practice that you do? Something that you're like every day. I would love to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I at least make sure I get to go out mountain biking once a week, and so get to go play out in the woods. That's definitely one of my at least weekly rituals for sure.
That's awesome. And when you go, like, are you by yourself? And do you have like,
I'm usually with
are
others.
you listening to stuff, or are you just kind of like there?
With others, and pretty much just there, and it just kind of getting to go do something that doesn't involve city life or day job or business or anything like that.
Yeah.
He leads mountain bike adventures
on
Sundays with other people that meet him like in the morning and everything.
That's
it doesn't matter
cool.
if it's raining or snowing or what, well, depending on the snow, but it's every Sunday, unless we're out doing things ourselves.
That's really cool. How far do you guys go?
Usually no more than about an hour or two from home as far as where we're going, but being where we are, that's a pretty broad range of options of places to go. And
then how long's the ride? Like when you're on the bikes?
From 8 to 15 miles, give or take. So on mountain bikes, that's actually a fair distance.
Yeah, definitely. And mountain being the operative word. So, We're not talking a smooth little straight, flat ride, right?
No.
That would be me. I don't do the mountain biking. Something about rolling myself down a hill between trees and stumps and rock. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Fine.
I'll take that surface.
And the thing with that too is up, that's really hard, but down, that's not easier.
It's a different kind of hard for sure.
Faster hard.
Yeah.
And how about you, Tara? What do you do outside to enjoy it?
Lots of gardening. I try to grow a lot of herbs. I wander around in nature looking for herbs or anything medicinal on the outside to make tinctures and do home remedies. That's another thing of sustainability, of making my own home remedies for certain things.
Nice. You're a kitchen crone.
I can walk out in the woods and it's deep in forest right out the back door. So it's all around us.
That's amazing. What's your favorite thing that you've made remedy wise?
Oh, I don't have one thing. I like it all. I mean, I don't know. I use them as I need them.
Okay.
But they're good to have.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So
that's so cool. I love that idea of just being able to forage a little bit and find things,
Yeah, I will say the one tincture, like he's saying, the one tincture that I made that I take all the time is rosemary tincture.
Okay. And what is it good for?
It's good for chronic inflammation. It's rosemary oil is also good for your hair. There's so many different uses for it, but I use it also mostly to help with chronic pain.
That's great. Wow. All right. That's cool. And are you kind of experimenting with different recipes, or how did you get into this and learn how to make things that you can actually use and take?
YouTube University, man.
There we go.
YouTube. I followed this one lady that is on YouTube. She's down in Oregon, and you literally do not have to have a certificate to become an herbalist. There's no such thing. You can do it all on your own.
I did not know that.
And she made me feel smart enough to where I could do it on my own.
I like that.
And she actually says it in all her videos. You are smart enough to do this. And you are. You're smart enough to find out what you need or what you want to make. And it's so easy to make.
I love that. And that addresses such a concern that people have. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to make somebody sick. I'm going to make myself sick. I don't know what I'm doing on this, but you
literally cannot make yourself sick unless you take too much of it at one time. I mean, if you're using a vodka tincture, you're using it in dropper forms. You're not doing it by teaspoons.
It's not a
chug. You don't want to chug. Oh, that's a rude awakening. A rude awakening. So, but yeah, there's all different stuff that I've made. If you're trying to be more sustainable, stay out of the stores. If you need something for headaches or pain, you have it outside. You can actually make it yourself. And I'm building my own apothecary to do that, to be more sustainable.
Yeah. No, that's great. So what does this look like for you? You're gathering things. Do you mostly probably hang them to dry and then use them when you need them? Or do you do batches of, hey, I'm going to make this now, I'm going to make this next week? Or
if I'm making tinctures, you use only fresh matter.
Okay.
So you use the whole plant matter. So you get it, you don't wash it or anything because nature's not really dirty. I mean, if you got bird poop on it, don't use that. Go to something clean. Shake it off, and then you chop it up, put it into a mason jar, and then you use 100 proof vodka. I always recommend 100 proof vodka. It's a 50% water, 50% alcohol, and there's no measuring involved, and you just dump it in. So if anybody is curious to who I'm watching She Is of the Woods on YouTube, and she's also on Instagram and all the platforms.
Nice.
Anybody can do this because you're smart enough.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Man, I got to follow her. I'm learning things all the time. So we had, I think it's called plantain. It's a leaf that's down here. I don't know if it's all over the country or what, but it's kind of a broad leaf thing. And if you get bit by bugs, you just rub it on and it works.
Yeah. You make a poultice out of it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I have little plantains up here too.
That's awesome. I love that. It's so fascinating.
There's mullein, which is a 2-year plant. You want to cut the first leaves off the first year. You can do it as a tincture. You can do it as a poultice. You can do it as an incense that you breathe it in. It's actually really good for bronchitis, asthma, anything with the lungs when you're coughing. Yes, it sounds funny when you're going to inhale smoke while you having bronchitis or something, but it actually aids the lungs.
Wow.
You can do stuff with the petals. You can do stuff with everything. You can do stuff with dandelions.
Yeah.
So if you want to be more sustainable, start looking at your own backyard.
I love it. Oh, I love it. So you mentioned that your garden is that, are you growing herbs as well as like veggies and flowers, or what else is out there?
Let's see. Tomatoes, tomatillos. We've done it all. Collard greens, because I'm from the South. I got to have my collard greens. Cabbage, broccoli, carrots. We've done onions. We've done garlic. I've got a huge thing of sage, rosemary, oregano that just keeps growing, like all of it. And then we can and freeze whatever we can for the following year until the next garden season.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
It's all about
I'm missing that this
sustainability.
year. Yeah, I used to have I turned our whole front yard into a garden. So I'm like, man, love the straw
you
bales.
don't need a yard. It's not going to do anything for you.
Exactly. I'm like, the grass, whatever.
What is the grass going to do? Nothing.
But then since we're trying to sell the house, the realtor's like, I'm like,
that has
fine. So ungardening the straw bales, that was not nearly as fun.
right.
And then this whole past summer, like no gardening, because I just, I didn't have my place for it. I'm like, this is so weird. I'm not putting away, I'm not canning, I'm not freezing, I'm not making anything. It's just,
I didn't have a garden this past year.
Yeah, it's brutal, isn't it, when you're used to it?
Yeah, we already had so much stuff, so I needed to downsize, but it didn't stop me from canning. I mean, from supporting other growers in the area, like the property we live on, that there's a big farm at the other end. I go and get all the vegetables there. She's also got cattle. I've already done a bunch of canning of beef stock. Now I'm getting ready to do some chicken stock. We've supported other farmers where I've done tomatoes, apples, right? Tomatoes. Yep. Yeah. So it's still canning, even though I don't have a garden.
Nice.
To keep all from having to go to a grocery store. Support the other people who are trying to be as sustainable.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I've been at the farmer's market as much as possible. It's done now, unfortunately, for the rest of the year. But oh man, it was just like, there's just something about that fresh produce that you grew yourself, or that guy grew it.
Right.
It's so much better than going to the produce aisle. It tastes so much
better. You taste the soil, you taste the nutrients in it. Half of the things that come from in a grocery store that's in your produce, not all of it really is grown in the ground. It is a lot of it's grown hydroponically, so no flavor because it's hydroponically.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's you'll get those lettuces and they look pretty, but like, did I eat that? I don't know. Did I eat it? I don't think I ate it. It got no flavor.
Crunchy water.
Yeah. It's true. It's like crunchy water. Man. So when you guys are outside and you took this amazing trip, do you do a lot of was that just a special thing where you took the drive and had all that time outdoors, or do you try to do this together a lot?
We try to do it together a lot. That was our first major one of the year because we've been so busy. We're like, wait a minute, it's the end of summer. We haven't gone anywhere. We have, but we haven't. And I'm like, we need to do something before we can't for the next 6 to 8 months.
Right, exactly. You got that window.
We haven't been to a few places, and we've lived here for 9 years and we still haven't gone to Mount Rainier, but it's also like Disneyland. Oh. And the weekend we wanted to go, all national parks were free.
Oh no, that's not.
And one morning on the camera, there was snow and I'm like, we're not doing snow. We're not yet. So we are going to go into Oregon and part of Washington and go see some stuff. And then where are we going to camp? Okay, someplace along the way that we're on a forest road somewhere.
That's pretty
cool. We pack up the car, put the tent in the car, and we just go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Now you guys are not 20 years old. So what are you doing for, you go camping and it's like you could be very comfortable, or you could be, waking up going, "Oh, my back." Do you have any secrets
Oh, my
for making it better?
back. Yeah. No, we're not glamping.
No.
Not glamping.
You're just like right
No.
on the ground, or what are you doing?
Well, I mean, we're in a tent, a small hiking tent that you can carry on a backpack. And we've got like little blow up air mattress, kind of helps. And sleeping bags in a little tent.
It.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Eventually we'll have a transit van kind of thing where we can take longer, trips and really venture around the country or other countries, and not have to necessarily worry about finding a flat, dry spot to camp, but that we'll still have a tent for the times where we can.
I love it. That's so great, man. And it's amazing that they've made these tents that are so portable now. It used to be, these canvas things. It took an army of people to put it up. It would leak at the lightest rain.
Yep. The tent that we have from REI is 4 pounds.
Nice.
And I think it takes 5 minutes to put it up.
Is it one of those you're just like, boom, and then it puts itself up?
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this time we went camping. We didn't bring anything cold. We packed everything in the cooler, even if it didn't need to go in a cooler. So it's confined, and we ate freeze dried meals, and
that's
just had a little hot camping stove to heat up the water, to dump the water in the bag, and there was our food right there.
There you go.
Too.
That's legit.
Met some people at one campsite at the Painted Hills down in Oregon, which I highly recommend. Go see it. It's like you're on another planet. Like, they're Painted Hills. Like, you can't walk on them or anything, but it is just stunning. And we met some people there and looked at their transit van, and we're talking. And one morning they made us breakfast. They're like, "You want to have breakfast?" And then the next day we all dispersed, and we happened to show up at the same campsite again.
They're like, they really liked our breakfast. They're back.
And they're like, "Are you following us?" And I'm like, "The tracker worked." So we all sit at the picnic. Yeah, she was Lynn that was there. She was like, "This might be weird, but do y'all want to watch a comedy show with us tonight?" And I'm sitting there going, "How are we packing it in your transit van?" We all sat at the picnic table and watched a comedy show. And I'm like, he's been wanting to go to a comedy show for the past few months.
I was not specific on where I wanted to see the show.
In the middle of nowhere, we're watching a comedy show.
There you go.
At a picnic table with people we'll never see again. It was the most amazing time.
That's so cool. I've found outdoors people are really kind of cool. Like, they're very generous like that typically. Like, it's almost like you've just met friends. Has that been mostly your experience? And
yes. Yeah.
We
even met some cool people from Germany that came over and were talking to us just randomly, just because it is that kind of vibe when you're out in the woods. Everybody already has that common goal to be out in nature and out away from things, and so you kind of know you're with at least a semi like-minded people. And they came over and were talking to us about different places in the U.S. and different things that we've seen and experienced, and we got to talk to them about Germany, and they were telling us how they love Germany and we need to go to northern and southern Germany to get the different experiences. But they said, really, you need to go to Italy.
Their favorite place is Italy.
They're German. They said we need to go to Italy.
That's wild. It's and it's so funny. Like, you just meet these people outdoors. Like, if it were some indoor setting, you probably would have just been friendly, and that's it. Part and go in your ways. But this made an impact. They're probably, we met this American couple, and we're telling them all about this.
Right.
Oh, we should have had extra cups. We could have given them extra cups.
Right.
That's it. On trips, you're bringing extra cups to pass out.
I was wondering, so when you're out there and you're meeting other people and you're using your thing, do people ask? Because this is...
Well, we do use them. We use them. We tell them about it, but then we didn't have extra cups.
No, we didn't.
Oh, man. That is... Wow.
You have to bring, that'll be a great advertising thing here.
Yeah. Here, speaking about it, here you go.
Yeah. Here, throw this on your Instagram. You out in nature with your cup, right?
I didn't think about that.
Right. I mean, I took pictures of our cup in places, but yeah, that was, I even had a backpack that I got from a top member that I brought out there and took some pictures of. And yeah, so it's been didn't think to bring ones to give out though.
Oh, well, was it Patrick's backpack or Manny's?
Neither actually.
Oh, a different one. I didn't
So,
know.
Dathan Woods,
Okay.
and he actually it's called Salty, and he's actually down in Florida, but he made a waterproof backpack for like kayaking, hiking, whatever, and it's actually really nice. So
That's really cool. I'll have to check him out. I mean, yeah, you can't, if you're hiking and it rains and that's all your stuff, that's,
and it's a
Does it
30
work well?
liters, so it's a good day pack.
Yeah, that's good. Did you have rain at all? Like, did you test it, weather test it, or?
It rained for us only when we were sleeping or driving.
Okay.
But I did go literally stick it down in the river at one of our campsites, and it was great.
There you go. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's because you just wet socks. That's the thing.
Ugh.
Wet socks.
I can deal with being wet. I can deal with being cold. I don't like being wet and cold together, particularly, especially wet socks.
Yes, that's the worst.
Ugh, feeling.
I want to ask you guys, what drives you?
I would say everything in this conversation so far. Nature is definitely a big driver, for us getting to do the things that we want to do and enjoy the places we want to go and enjoy, and being able to do it with our together and with family.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anything else, Tara?
Basically, he just said it.
I like that. And I really like what you said too about, our kids and our kids' kids, they're living with what our trash has been. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty.
We're picking up after our grandparents, and in those generations. Granted, a lot of them probably didn't know any better, and it is what it is. But
You don't know until you know.
Right.
Then do better.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, that totally makes sense, man. All right, so let's say you have the opportunity to do like your dream retreat in nature. Where would you go? Is it mountains? I'm thinking. What would it look like? What would you be doing?
Well, it's funny, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and like South America has definitely been a big thing on our list of places we want to go. The outdoors and nature there is just unreal. I mean, it is a lot of places, but that has definitely been one that we're like, yeah, that's the place. And we were talking about Ecuador, actually.
What's the draw specifically there?
It helps when you actually know somebody from there, and they have people that have a retreat down there, and I'm in contact with them, and he's really wanting us to come down there. Plus, we've always wanted to go down to Patagonia, which is another area. Yeah. So we want to backpack the world.
Yeah.
We want to backpack the world. We want to go to South America. We want to backpack. We want to go to a bunch of, how would you say, a bunch of Asia, around Asia, Japan. We want to do it all. We want to backpack through Italy, Germany, Norway, Ireland, all that.
That's pretty cool. That's a lot of steps.
It's a lot of steps. Yep.
I saw your post about the Northern Lights. That's one that's been on our list for sure. So getting up, even though we're high enough we're high enough north that a lot of people do get to see them, for whatever reason when they tend to come around, we have not managed to get to a viewing spot that we can actually see them. It would be great where we are. We have no light pollution, but there's a lot of stuff in the way of looking north.
We're on the backside of a mountain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Every time they're like, the Northern Lights. And I'm like, why is it we got to be up early the next day to be at work? Can it be on any other day? It happens to be right on a Thursday all the time. We're not meant to see it here. It's meaning we need to get out and go somewhere else. We want to go to Iceland. I mean, perfect location.
Yeah. That's Iceland's been on my list just for that. Like, I don't really know much more about it, but I'm like, yeah, that'd be really cool. So.
Go see Iceland and see the volcano at the go to Iceland, see the volcano going, and have the northern lights above you at the same time. It's a dream.
That does.
It'll become reality.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's wild. So I recently recorded an episode with Jules Sue. So she backpacked solo travel adventure throughout the whole world. She's been to like 38 countries. So you guys should chat. But
she's one in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually talk to Jules fairly often. You know, not as much as when we were both in top, but now that, you know, we still reach out, at least just, you know, check to see how each other are doing, how things are going. In fact, she just told me a couple weeks ago, I think her bike got stolen, so that was kind of sad. But
yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know why people do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Man, well, you know, she'll have to lead a trip somewhere. We'll all go. So,
right.
I think Iceland would work. That'd be cool. Oh man. So where can people go that they can learn more about what you're up to and kind of follow your journey and buy these amazing cups?
So my Lukara on social media, primarily active, I would say definitely on Facebook and Instagram. We do have our website, mylukara.com. Most of our actual sales are definitely done on Amazon, at least at this current moment. We have a presence in other places, but that's where we're putting our focus on right now to get good at, you know, one thing before we try to really divide the focus into too many other areas.
That's really cool. It won't take long. I mean, that focus you've already come a long way, and this is, you know, you're just focusing in on it and serving people. And I love what you've created. When we have Idlewild Woods up and running, I'm going to need to do a bulk buy from you, because this is really cool. I would rather have people using your cups than anything else. So
we're definitely be here to help facilitate that.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.